Hey everyone, welcome back. It has been a little over a week, really 2 weeks since my last upload, and I wanted to just check in and let y'all know what I've been reading before the end of the month. In one of my last videos, I mentioned that I didn't have and still don't have a set TBR for this month. I was kind of playing it by ear. So yeah, I'm just letting y'all know what my last read was, my current read is, and maybe what my next read will be. So many of us know that AI has been around for a little minute in some form or fashion. It's here to stay and it's not going anywhere. It's going to be here as long as we are, I feel like, okay? So we have to figure out some way to get comfortable, accept how AI is going to be integrated in many, many areas of our lives. I mean, we don't have to do anything we don't want to, but it's going to happen, right? So the last read I read was Annie Bot by Sierra Greer. And she created a very interesting plot where her main human character got and gets very comfortable with his AI. So Annie, who is a very high-tech, complex, sentient, all of the adjectives, she is an AI android. And right out of the box, Anna is what is called a Stella. So a Stella, someone can purchase a Stella, right? A human can purchase a Stella, and a Stella comes with the default function of helping her human take care of the home. They can run errands, help with childcare, stuff like that. And the company that sells Stellas gives the purchasers the option to change the function of the Stella. Annie's human, Doug changes Annie's function to be a sexual companion. And so the POV is of Annie, and you're following her as she tries to adhere to keeping Doug happy, to do whatever is necessary within her parameters to keep him pleased. So if that means him coming home to a nice home cooked meal, she got to get it done. If that means at her quarterly tune-up, she has to get an augmentation up here or down here, or change her hair color, that's what she has to do. She has to keep Doug happy. So everything seems fine from Annie's perspective until she witnesses something at one of her quarterly tune-ups. And that got her CPU, her algorithm, questioning some things about her existence. And she begins to have a human-like desire for more for herself and for other AI. So it was really interesting. I don't want to give too much away. And I would definitely, if you don't mind the sexual interactions that are had, and they're not like super explicit. I gotta think about that for a moment. Yeah, they're not super explicit, but they are often because again, he changed her modality. He changed her function, right? So if you don't mind that, I would recommend this because it's like I was not expecting what I read. Moving on to my current read, which is actually plural because I have been going back and forth between 3 books for the past like 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. And it feels like I'm not getting anything done. And that's not like me. So I don't know what's going on. But I have been reading some things. The first one is The Other Where Post. I am almost done with this. Like I'm like I feel like I'm 80% done with this. Y'all can see that. And I mentioned this in one of my previous videos. It is a YA fantasy about a young woman named Maeve. Her father has been accused of a very serious crime that has affected one of the 3 worlds that exist in her realm. And she receives a anonymous letter from someone saying your father didn't do what he was accused of doing. And the only way she can try to track down the source of this letter is by enlisting as an apprentice at the Otherwhere post. There, she will learn the art of scriptomancy, where an individual can enchant letters. So its recipient, right, can either experience what is being said or however the letter is enchanted, and the couriers can travel in between worlds as well. It gets very dangerous for Miss Maeve, very dangerous. And I didn't realize, but this is kind of on the dark academia side. But of course, I'll go more into detail in my July wrap up. My next 2 current reads, I am listening to one more than the other. The one I'm listening to a lot more, and I'm listening to it while I'm at work, is Isola by Allegra Goodman. And this says, heir to a fortune, Marguerite is destined for a life of prosperity and gentility. But then she is orphaned, and her guardian, an enigmatic and volatile man, spends her inheritance and insists she accompany him on an expedition to New France. The book is set up so you're following her throughout her life. And Marguerite realizes at a very young age that something is wrong, and her guardian isn't taking care of her in the way that she should be taken care of. This is a historical fiction, and y'all know I don't read a bunch of historical fiction. If I do, it usually has a twist of fantasy in it. I definitely thought I would be more receptive to it if I listened to it, and thank goodness I was able to also loan it from Hoopla. So that's definitely helping me. And I like to hear the accents and the inflections. That gives it some more life to me than reading it. I believe, yes, it's inspired by the real life of a 16th century heroine. Her guardian is her uncle. No, her cousin. And you know how men do. I can't even say that. I don't want to generalize, but it wasn't uncommon, right, back then for men and women too, we know, but to take advantage of a situation. And he is definitely doing that. And I don't know how this gonna end, but hopefully he get his. Moving along, I am also listening 2, and I have not got very far in this one. I have finally been trying to start Here One Moment. A quick, synopsis. The main character, well, one of the main characters, is an older woman who has prophetic visions, the ability to determine when someone is going to die. And one of the first things that took me out of the story was, why hasn't one of the flight attendants told this lady to sit down? She is being a disruption. None of the passengers have really taken offense or become angry or distraught yet by what she is telling them. They kind of thinking she joking. But in real life, this lady would be causing a disruption on a flight. So I started listening to this, and I wasn't prepared for how many POVs are introduced. And the author goes down, you get all of these characters' backstories, what they had for lunch, what issues they dealing with, where they going, their child having a recital. It's a lot via audiobook. And I feel like it's going to be the same on paper. I do want to read this because my coworker recommended I check it out, and it was on my list anyway. But she did warn me that she got really agitated with the prophetic lady. So we're going to see how this goes. I generally don't DNF a book, but this one right here is definitely a contender at this point. At the time of me recording this video, there's still one more week of July, and I'm more than likely not going to get to this next read this month, but definitely next month. And it is All Superheroes Need PR by Elizabeth Stevens. I am very familiar with her work, but it's funny. I didn't find this. One of my friends saw it and it's like, hey, this sounds right up your alley. And I'm like, yeah, it is. So it says, over 2 decades ago, 48 young, gifted superheroes fell to Earth and were eventually marketed as opposing brands, heroes and villains. Now, one exceptionally gruff bad guy is looking to hop teams. Hello, PR director Vanessa Therat. His real name is Roland Castell, aka the Pyro. First, swap that with the less incinerating the Wyvern. Next, put him in spandex to highlight that near godlike body. Finally, give that hero in training a heroine. If Vanessa will play the part in a pretend romance guaranteed to make the city swoon, she's game. As shy as Vanessa is, it's her job to be Roland's very own Lois Lane. Who knew that fake dating would change the world? But falling head over heels for real makes for a dangerous shift in the narrative. A monstrous supervillain is bringing out Roland's bad side again. This time it's to save a woman who, against all the odds, is becoming the human love of his superhero life. This sounds so sweet. It sounds perfect for either February, right, or a summer romance. Well, y'all, those were my last current and next reads. Definitely let me know down below how your July reading has been. What's one of your favorites, or a book that you're struggling with like I. And until next time, stay safe, be blessed, and I'll see you in the next one.